is a moment before the day begins, before the first thought has broken the surface of the quiet that I am learning to inhabit, before I fill it with the doing of the day. I become still, not because the world has stopped. I become still, not because there's nothing left to do. I become still, because beneath the doing, there is something that the doing has been covering, and I want to know it. I become still, like the frozen lake at dawn. I become still, before the sun has touched the world. I become still, in the space before the morning, in the breath before the day unfurls. I become still, and in the stillness something opens. I become still, and in the opening I find the ground that was beneath me all along. I become still, not the stillness of exhaustion, not the stillness of defeat, not the stillness of the one who has nothing left to meet, but the stillness of the choosing, the stillness of the knowing that the most alive thing I can do right now is stop and let the stillness show me what I am. So I sit on the frozen lake of my own being, and I feel the ice beneath me holding, and I feel the dawn coming slowly, and I feel the whole world waiting in the stillness for the light. I become still, like the frozen lake at dawn. I become still, before the sun has touched the world. I become still, in the space before the morning, in the breath before the day unfurls. I become still, and in the stillness something opens. I become still, and in the opening I find the ground that was beneath me all along. I become still, still. I become still, still. I am here, still, in the quiet, still, in the deep, still. I become the stillness, still. Still. There is a quiet. Beneath the quiet, there is a deeper quiet. Beneath that, something that has no name, but can be felt when you go still enough to let the layers settle. The quiet beneath is not silence as absence. The quiet beneath is silence as presence. The quiet beneath is the most full thing I have ever touched. When I was still enough to reach it. The quiet beneath the thinking and the planning. The quiet beneath the worrying and the noise. The quiet beneath the story I keep telling. The quiet beneath the signal and the voice is here, is always here, is never not here, waiting for the moment when I remember to go down into it. The quiet beneath is home. The quiet beneath is me. The quiet beneath is the most real thing I know. And I have learned to visit it in the early morning before the day has learned that I am awake. I slip down into the quiet like slipping into water. That is exactly the temperature of my own body. And in the quiet I remember what I am. Not the thoughts, not the feelings, not the role, not the story, not the noise, but the one who is beneath all of it, still and quiet and completely alive. The quiet beneath the thinking and the planning. The quiet beneath the worrying and the noise. The quiet beneath the story I keep telling. The quiet beneath the signal and the voice is here, is always here, is never not here, waiting for the moment when I remember to go down into it. The quiet beneath is home. The quiet beneath is me. The quiet beneath is the most real thing I know. Beneath, go beneath, beneath the quiet, beneath, beneath the deep quiet, beneath the deepest quiet here. This, the quiet beneath everything here. Snow falls without announcement. without asking permission, without needing to be noticed. It simply comes and softens everything it touches. Without effort, without intention, without the need to be thanked. And I want to be like the snow that softens, without trying, that covers without forcing, and makes the whole world quiet, simply by being what it is. Snowfall, and the world becomes still, snowfall, and the edges disappear, snowfall, and everything familiar becomes new and clean and clear. And I am learning from the snow that the stillness is not something I must achieve. The stillness falls, stillness comes, stillness covers everything. If I let it, if I stop resisting the quiet, snow falls and I am still. Every footprint filled, every sharp edge rounded, every wound in the earth covered softly and given time to heal beneath the white of winter's mercy. And this is what the stillness does to the soul that receives it. It softens the edges that have grown too hard. It covers the wounds that need the mercy of the quiet and the time to heal. Disappear, and everything familiar becomes new and clean and clear. And I am learning from the snow that the stillness is not something I must achieve. The stillness falls, the stillness comes, the stillness covers everything. If I let it, if I stop resisting the quiet, snow falls and I am still. does not spin. At the center of the turning, there is a place that does not turn. At the center of the storm, the eye. At the center of the river, the deep, still current that moves all things without itself moving. The still point is not a place I go. The still point is the place I am when I stop going. The still point is not a state I achieve. The still point is what remains when I stop achieving and simply be. The still point at the center of my turning, still point where all movement finds its ground. The still point is the axis of my living. Still point is the most alive I found, and from the still point everything moves beautifully, and from the still point everything returns, and from the still point I can hold the whole of life without being pulled apart by all its turns. The still point is where I live now. The still point is home. I am the dancer, and the still point of the dance. I am the river, and the still at the river's heart. I am the world turning, and the axis that makes turning possible without falling apart. So I return to the still point when the spinning feels too fast. I return to the still point when the turning seems too vast. I return to the center of my own unmoving being, and from there I move with grace and ease. The still point at the center of my turning, still point where all movement finds its ground. The still point is the axis of my living. Still point is the most alive I found, and from the still point everything moves beautifully, and from the still point everything returns, and from the still point I can hold the whole of life without being pulled apart by all its turns. The still point is where I live now. The still point is home. Still, the still point, still at the center, still everything moving. Still, I am still. The still point, the center, the axis, the ground. Still, I am the still point here. Because I was afraid of what might live there in the unfilled and the spare. But the silence was not empty. Silence was the fullest thing I'd ever found. When I was finally willing to be there. Silence is not empty. Silence is the container of everything that cannot be said. Silence is not empty. Silence is the ground from which the word arises. Silence is not empty. Silence is the most complete thing. Silence is not empty, like the winter lake before the dawn. Silence is not empty, like the breath before the song. Silence is not empty, like the space between the heartbeats, where the life is most alive. Silence is not empty. It is full of everything that matters, full of everything that is. When I stop filling it with noise, I find that silence was the thing I was always looking for. The deepest things are said in silence. The deepest love is held in silence. The deepest knowing lives in silence and waits for the one who is quiet enough to hear it. So I practice being in the silence without the need to fill it. I practice being in the quiet without the fear of what is there. And what is there is everything, is beauty, is the source, is the stillness that was always waiting. In the silence I was running from. Silence is not empty, like the winter lake before the dawn. Silence is not empty, like the breath before the song. Silence is not empty, like the space between the heartbeats, where the life is most alive. Silence is not empty. It is full of everything that matters, full of everything that is. When I stop filling it with noise, I find that silence was the thing I was always looking for. Listen, the silence. Listen, it is full. Listen, it is here. Listen, it holds everything. Silence, full silence, alive silence. I rest in the silence that is full of everything. Does not try to reflect. It simply is so still that reflection becomes inevitable. clarity is not achieved. It is what remains when all disturbance settles. The frozen lake shows everything exactly as it is, not as we wish it, not as we fear it, exactly as it is. The frozen lake is the mind that has become so still that truth is all it shows. The frozen lake at dawn before the sun, the frozen lake where sky and earth are one, the frozen lake where the bare tree sees itself completely in the black ice of the still water and knows itself for the first time. The frozen lake is what I am when I am still enough. The frozen lake is the mind at rest in its own nature. And a disturbed lake cannot reflect clearly. A churning mind cannot see truly. But the lake that has been given time and stillness becomes the most honest mirror in the world. So I give myself the time and stillness to settle, to let the disturbance find its level, to let the surface become smooth, and in the smoothness see more clearly than I ever could while churning. The frozen lake at dawn before the sun, the frozen lake where sky and earth are one, the frozen lake where the bare tree sees itself completely in the black ice of the still water and knows itself for the first time. The frozen lake is what I am when I am still enough. The frozen lake is the mind at rest in its own nature. Still like the lake, still like the ice, still like the reflection, still like the truth. I am still, I reflect, I am clear, I am the frozen lake at dawn. Still, clear, true. was trained to do. To produce and to achieve, and to justify my place with the doing. But today I practice something that goes again. The training today. I practice doing nothing. Do nothing, not as laziness. Do nothing, not as giving up. Do nothing as the most courageous and the most countercultural and the most necessary thing I know how to do right now. Do nothing. Let the winter lake be frozen. Do nothing. Let the dawn come in its time. Do nothing. Let the bare tree stand in stillness. Do nothing. Let the stillness be the rhyme that the soul has been composing underneath the doing all this time. Do nothing and discover that the nothing is not empty. Do nothing and discover that the stillness is the source. Do nothing just for now, just this moment. Do nothing and let the everything emerge from the nothing. The sea does nothing while it waits to become the tree. The winter does nothing while it holds the world in preparation for the spring. And I am learning from the sea and from the winter that the doing and the nothing are the same sacred thing. So I sit on the frozen lake of my own being And the something is the stillness, and the stillness is the crown of everything. Do nothing. Let the winter lake be frozen. Do nothing. Let the dawn come in its time. Do nothing. Let the bare tree stand in stillness. Do nothing. Let the stillness be the rhyme that the soul has been composing underneath the doing all this time. Do nothing and discover that the nothing is not empty. Do nothing and discover that the stillness is the source. Do nothing just for now, just this moment. Do nothing and let the everything emerge from the nothing. Nothing. Do nothing. Nothing. Just this. Nothing. Just still. Nothing. Just here. I have been moving for so long that I forgot what rest felt like. Real rest. Not the rest of exhaustion. Not the rest of having run out, but the rest of choosing to be still. Because the stillness is enough. I rest here, not temporarily. I rest here, not until the next thing calls. I rest here in the stillness as a practice, as a coming home, as the recognition that the rest is not the pause between the living. The rest is the living. I rest here on the frozen lake at dawn. I rest here in the silence before the song. That has carried me so faithfully through everything. I rest here, and the resting is the deepest thing. I rest here, and the stillness holds me perfectly. I rest here in the ground of my own being. I rest here, and I am needs the stillness, like the earth needs winter, like the tree needs the bare months before the blooming. And I give myself the winter of the deep rest and the deep quiet and the not doing that makes the doing possible and good. So I lower into the rest like lowering into warm water. I let the stillness take my weight. I stop holding what the stillness is already holding, and in the letting I completely than I was when I was holding everything myself. I rest here on the frozen lake at dawn. I rest here in the silence before the song. I rest here in the body that has carried me so faithfully through everything. I rest here, and the resting is the deepest thing. I rest here, and the stillness holds me perfectly. I rest here in the ground of my own being. I rest here, and I am home. Rest. I rest here, rest in the still, rest in the quiet, rest in the held. I rest, I am held. I rest in the stillness. I am home. Rest here. Rest. Rest. Every leaf that was not essential, everything that belonged only to the season that has passed. And what remains is the truth of what it is. The bones, the structure, the essential form that was always there beneath the leaves. The bare tree is not less beautiful. The bare tree is more beautiful because the beauty is now essential, cannot be decorated further, cannot hide behind the fullness of the season. The bare tree is the most honest thing I know. The bare tree standing in the winter silence, bare tree reflected in the frozen lake. The bare tree has given up everything that isn't it and stands more fully itself than it has ever been. The bare tree is the teacher of the stillness that I'm learning how to be, stripped of what isn't me, essential and honest and more alive in the stripping than I ever was in the fullness. The bare tree knows something I am learning, and I have been the bare tree in my own winters, when the things I thought were essential were stripped away, and what remained was something simpler and truer and more mine than anything I had dressed myself in during the full seasons. And those winters were the gift, though I did not know it at the time. The stripping was the teaching, and what remained was the real, and the real was enough, was more than enough, was everything I had ever needed to be. The bare tree standing in the winter silence, bare tree knows something I am learning. Bare tree and beautiful and true and more itself than ever. I am bare, I am essential, I am true, I am still. The bare tree knows I know still. I have returned to myself and released what I carried and received the filling and remembered who I am. I rose, I trusted, I surrendered, I awakened, I flowed. I recognized the grace. I arrived completely present, and now, on the frozen lake, in the silence before dawn, in the stillness that holds everything, I simply rest. Not reviewing, not rehearsing, not even being present in the effortful way. Just still, completely just still, as this, just still. In the stillness that was always the deepest home of the whole long, beautiful journey. Stillness, not the absence of life, but the ground of life. Stillness, not the end of the journey, but the source it came from. Stillness, the frozen lake, the bare tree, the dawn before the sun, the silence before the word, the breath before the breath, all of it stillness, and I am the stillness. I have always been the stillness. I just had to return and release and receive and remember and rise and trust and surrender and awaken and flow and receive the grace and arrive completely to rest here in the stillness that was always already here. The stillness is not the end. The stillness is the ground from which the next return will rise in its own time, in its own season, and the journey will begin again, deeper and more true. And the stillness will be waiting when it ends, as it was waiting when it began, as it was always here, between and beneath and within every moment of the whole long, beautiful journey. Here I am in the most ancient quiet. Here I am in the ground of everything. Here I am, the one who learned that stillness was not the opposite of life, but the very heart of it. Stillness, not the absence of life, but the ground of life. Stillness, not the end of the journey, but the source it came from. Stillness, the frozen lake, the bare tree, the dawn before the sun, the silence before the word, the before the breath, all of its stillness. And I am the stillness. I have always been the stillness. I just had to return and release and receive and remember and rise and trust and surrender and awaken and flow and receive the grace and arrive completely to rest here in the stillness that was always already here. This is it. The place beneath everything. The ground that never moved while everything moved. The quiet that was never absent while everything was noisy. The stillness that was always here before the first word and after the last. You are the stillness. You have always been the stillness, and the stillness is enough, and the stillness is everything, and the stillness is now, forever. Still, still, still. You are still, still. You are home still. You are the ground still, the frozen lake still, the bare tree still, the dawn coming still. You are the source still. You are the silence still. You are the love that holds all things in stillness, simply still.